Hi everybody, it's Caroline Quibell with roamingrv.com, and today I want to talk about downsizing and what kind of methods you can use to sell off some of your stuff, make a few dollars, and give yourself some room in your RV and not have to pay a lot of money for storage. Okay, because we went through this once again. We've done it 2 or 3 times, but last spring, actually about a year ago, almost exactly, we downsized from our house, sold off most of our personal goods, put a few things in storage, and we're now living in our fifth wheel. So, there's different ways that I did to get rid of our stuff, or not get rid of it, but sell it off and try and make a few dollars off of it, which helps pay for your new lifestyle. It doesn't have to be difficult, but it is time consuming. There's no two ways about it. And as each item is sold or gotten rid of, you get a sense of relief that you're moving forward towards your downsizing goal and moving into your fifth wheel or your RV of some sort. And obviously, the first choice, our kids had first choice of any of our things that we were wanting to get rid of. And I don't know if you're going to find out this, but we did. Our kids didn't want our stuff. They've got their own things. They didn't want our junk. So, and I remember going through this with my parents too. My mom was saving all her china and good dishes and everything. And when we downsized them into assisted living, none of us wanted any of their junk either. So you may find that you're going to be in the same boat. However, if you're going to sell things off, you need to determine the value. So figure out how much you spent for the item new and what it would cost if you wanted to replace it. Then look online at different sites where people are selling things, and how much are they selling it for. Remember, just because someone has it listed for a certain price, though, doesn't mean that that's how much it's going to sell for. And on sites like eBay, it's possible to know how much things sell for, and that will give you an idea of what you might charge if your item is in the same condition. Okay. Next, by checking these sales sites, it's easy to figure out if the item is easily available, if it's rare, or if it has lots of the same item online and there's no sales, nobody's wanting it. Okay, so it gives you a pretty good idea of whether there's your item, there's a market for it. Okay, now remember, your goal is to downsize and get rid of everything, but you still want to get the best price possible. And know what you're comfortable accepting, or what you can get what you can receive for it. Okay, there's a fine line between allowing your buyer to get a good deal and for you to make some money. Now, not every item is good for each method of sale. There's different ways of doing it. We've had yard sales, but you don't get as much in a yard sale. You're probably going to get 5 cents on the dollar. So consider other ways of selling your things. One method is Craigslist. And Craigslist has really taken over from newspaper classifieds that we used to use. And it can be good for listing items that are better being sold locally. So if you're in a major center, list your items on Craigslist for that area. Especially because you don't want to be shipping things and such either. Okay, so Craigslist is great for local. Facebook, I got blown away. We were in a very small community. I never used Facebook other than to keep track of my relatives and my friends. The local community had a for sale group on Facebook. I sold a lot on Facebook. And that just blew me away, and I thought it was fabulous. So if you are if you're downsizing, selling off your products, do a search on Facebook to see if there's a buy and sell or some type of group for your community that they're selling things off. Another one is Kijiji. Now you can list everything from your actual house to everything inside it in Kijiji. Now this is a Canadian website. And items can be listed anywhere in the country if that's what you want. Now, it's going to depend on the size of the item. Because let's face it, if it's a Chesterfield or a chest of drawers or something heavy, there would be really no point in marketing or advertising through Kijiji on the other side of the country. Okay, so if you don't want to get involved in shipping and such like that, once again, use Kijiji local. eBay. Now, eBay is I haven't done a lot with eBay, but you're going to need a really good description of the item and photos for any items that are sold on eBay. There is a fee that's involved after the item is sold, but the research that I did, I found that games, toys, electronics, books, computer equipment, and video games can be sold here really well. So you can also list your items internationally. And if you list in the US buyers, buyers in Canada can see your listing for most items, and vice versa. If you list in Canada, American buyers can view your listing. So look at it internationally. It's not impossible, especially for those items that I just listed a few minutes ago. Amazon. I sold quite a few books on Amazon. I had a full library, and I did some research, checked to see what was selling, what wasn't. For my things I listed on Amazon, I just listed them in Canada. I would suggest, if possible, list in the US. You're going to have a much better success at selling your items. People in Canada can buy from the US. You don't necessarily have American buyers seeing your items that are listed in Canada. However, I did sell a good number of books, but it took a while. But look at Amazon or for Canada or United States or whatever country you happen to live in. Used.ca. Now, this is Canadian, and most areas of the country have a section on this website. I listed a number of things on Used Okanagan, and when I was selling some of my parents' furniture, and had really good success. So have a look in your area, especially in Canada, and see if there's something called used.ca for your item. There may be something like this in the States. I haven't been able to find it as of yet, but I liked it. Depending upon the area, I know over on the island, I think they have one called Used Nanaimo, and that's good too. So have a look for used.ca. Another thing that I have not used is Etsy. I like what I see. I've done some research. I'm just starting to get familiar with it, but I haven't actually used it. But from what I can tell, it's becoming really popular as a site for, especially for selling crafts or anything you make yourself, and used clothing. So I found that interesting. So, you know, I do still have a few things in storage that maybe I might be listing it on eBay. Etsy, pardon me. Yard sales. I used to be the yard sale queen. I love yard sales. We had a yard sale for selling our stuff. To be honest, I had everything ready to go. I think it was at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11 o'clock it was all gone. But I priced it accordingly. I knew that I would never get high prices for anything. I put a decent price on all of our goods, and we sold everything up. So it was great. We had a lot of fun. So now, depend on your city. There might be bylaws about yard sales and putting signs up and such like that. So do some research and figure out what you can or can't do in the city that you live in. Now, you know, it really doesn't matter what method you decide to use for selling off all your worldly possessions, but there's always scammers out there just waiting to take advantage of you. So be careful, use common sense, and you shouldn't have any trouble. Each sales site, if you're selling online, they have tips and warnings for you to follow. Make sure you read them, okay? just remember, not everything has to be sold when you downsize to an RV. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that you're going to encounter having some of your prized possessions that you don't want to get rid of. Well, then don't. You don't have to. Put them all in storage or find a place that you can store them, a family member or whatever. But put some items in storage that you definitely want to keep. Lock them up. Come back a year later and see if they're still as important. They may very well be. I still have stuff in storage and it's been a year. And I better go over there and have a look and see what. I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I can get rid of. But you know what? If you're not sure, keep it. The only thing you have to remember is when you go into your RV that you don't have as much room as you did in your house. Weight is an issue and you don't need everything that you think you might need. I'm still taking things out of the fifth wheel that I thought I couldn't live without. I don't have room for them. I don't need them. And I've got bins and such, and now I'm starting to fill up our storage unit. So I think I'm probably going to have another yard sale to get rid of more stuff or start listing them online. So I hope you found this helpful. If you're downsizing to an RV out of a regular stick house or apartment or wherever you've been living, I found that I had a couple of items that I actually couldn't sell, probably because I got greedy at the beginning and I lost any people that potentially could have bought it. I ended up giving things away because it came down to the point where, as an example, my treadmill. I'm not going to pay to store it. I couldn't find a buyer in our small community. We only 2,300 people. Not everybody wants a treadmill. I ended up donating it, giving it away. And I'm okay with that because to pay storage on that, it's not worth it. I probably will never ever use it. And anyway, someone else is having good use out of it. So once again, this is all about downsizing to an RV. What's right for me isn't necessarily right for you, but these are some suggestions that you may find helpful. So once again, it's Carol Ann Quibell and with roamingrv.com, and I hope these downsizing tips, you find them beneficial to you. Okay? Take care and happy RVing.